Because you know what this show is about. It is Keeping 99 Sports, and today we are talking about Game 3 of the NBA Finals and the previous games, as well as preview the future game with a question, yay or nay, on all the topics today. Because we're going to do something a little simpler. We're not doing the wheel. The wheel is going to be reserved for Mount Rushmore, so we're not doing the wheel. I will come up with some new things to do for the sports show. But we also have things about the NCAA. Got Brendan Sorsby and Nick Saban is meeting. So we're going to talk about that and break it down. Let's get this show started with this fun video. Shout out to the dude on Twitter. You'll see his name on there. Shout out to him.
Honey, I see you looking at me. I'm ready, going, you will for me.
ロビンソン、自分がジョーダンプールだと思い込むのはやめろ。全体0の試合のつもりで臨め。ブリッジスの言う通りだ。スタッツを追い求めるあまりチームの化学本能を壊してしまうのは危険だ。
Oh my god.
曹操たちとのあの修行の末に今さら汚い手を使うのか。照明は眩しすぎますか。海の向こうに我々の敵がいる。
My mayor Muslim, my bagels Jewish, my Christian Dior, Nixon 4!
ニューヨーク市の住民、マディソンスクエアガードン周辺の壁を全て取り払いました。
That was a crazy intro. Shout out to the intro. Shout out to people that made it. Shout out to them. Y'all saw the name on there. I forgot their name. I'm too far away from my computer to actually see it. But shout out to them. So go give them a follow on Twitter and Instagram. Shout out to them. But that was a little funny teaser that they made Attack on Titan because all of a sudden Wemby is a Titan apparently. By the way they did Cat voice was hilarious, Monre. Speaking of, I am joined with the Monre. How you doing today, Monre?
Yo, if you don't know the series he showed in the intro, I implore you, go watch all 7 videos they did of the OKC and Spurs series. That mug is amazing. I don't know who decided to do that. That mug is amazing. I watched all of them and this one. It is hilarious. So shout out to that. Definitely great work. Wonderful. That. And I have seen the meme of the one he did of Knicks dude when he said Knicks and 4. There's also a live dude that actually did that. It's crazy. It's crazy. But otherwise, we good. We here. Let's get it cracking.
Let's get started. We got some questions, yay or nay. As me and Mario will answer these. Yay or nay, the Spurs were a better team throughout the finals so far. This is basically our preview question for the game 1 through 3. Even though they're down 2-1, I've seen people say they were the better team. They just made rookie mistakes.
It's such a tricky question. Like, they are the more talented team. I firmly believe. I don't think nobody will really go against it. They're the more talented team. Better is subjective because if you were better, you would have won. So it's hard to say that, Like, I do think they're the more talented team, but I can't say they were the better team the first 2 nights because you lost. But I also understand this series is the example, and we have other ones of like, even though we do say, and I've said myself, normally the better team wins in basketball because in 7 games, your overall talent or skill or whatever normally shows itself. This is true. There are times, though, when the better team does not win. So, do I think the Spurs are the better team? The first 2 games, no, they were not the better team. Like, They were not the better team. The first 2 games, no. Last night, yes, they were the better team. They played like the better team. But the first 2 nights, no, because they did not play like they were a better team. They played like it was a game of pickup basketball in Rucker Park somewhere. Like they played like that with a lot of just bad decisions, some hero ball moments like Zelmae saying. They didn't play like a better team the first 2 nights. So I'm not going to say they're a better team. They were not. Matter of fact, the best person on the court the first 2 nights was not on the Spurs. It was Karl-Anthony Towns on the Knicks. who was the best player on the court the first 2 games of the series. So, no, they were not the better team the first 2 nights. Last night, yes. First 2, no.
To me, they appear to be the better team. It just they make a lot of mistakes, which they are young. So it's very rare that you get a really young team that's better than another team. Like when Shaq and Orlando did it, to be honest with you, they probably, if healthy, might have been the better team, but Penny wasn't all the way. You know, Penny was still there and Penny did well. But they weren't better than Houston fully healthy. Hakeem was a monster. He taught Shaq a lot in that series. Shaq will tell you about it whenever he's actually serious. He don't do it no more, but he used to tell you about how he learned so much from Hakeem in that series. Because Shaq now just talks in like riddles and big man play big.
Yeah, he the best.
Yeah, be the best. Be physical. Be aggressive. When you're aggressive, you win. I'm like, all right, Shaq, most basic thing. But overall, I think you see a lot of the players. They just make like young people mistakes, and certain people just don't fall for a role. Like in game 3, you saw Dylan Harper go into a role. He wasn't hitting shots, he wasn't doing well, but he became a rebounder. Okay, my job since I ain't hitting open shots, which Harper gave him a lot of open shots. I mean, Castle gave Harper a lot of open shots at the end of the game. He decided, hey, I'm going to hustle and get rebound. He got some big rebounds too. So some people play their role. Still need to figure out Keldon Johnson playing his role because I don't know what he be doing. And other players, could they just be running out there, running around thinking, doing stuff that they don't need to do. Like taking the ball baseline, knowing you're going to get trapped because that's not your game. And nobody wants you to do that. Keldon Johnson. By the way, I did like him thing Mitch did. He stopped putting Keldon Johnson and Luke Cornett in the same time. That was like, I'm like, simple fix. You do not need them two on the floor at the same time. But I think they were the better team, but the Knicks played smarter, was more intelligent, did all the right things. They've been playing together for a while now. They got all the Villanova boys on the same team, so they've been playing together for a while.
Yeah.
4 Villanova boys on the same team. The only other one is Dante. That was an amazing team, by the way, when you think about that. But great team. We got another question. So far, Monre, the Finals MVP is still unclear on either side.
That's a lie. That is blatantly a lie. The Finals MVP on the Knicks is Karl-Anthony Towns. This is not hard. It's a blatant lie. Just, he didn't have a good game 3, and, of course, they lost game 3. But to be fair, nobody really had a good game 3. We can look at Jalen Brunson. Like, yeah, he had a lot of points. But a lot of them didn't really shoot too well. OG Anunoby had a fantastic game for game 3. But besides him, a lot of the Knicks didn't have a good game 3. But when it comes to them, like, it's easily Karl-Anthony Towns. I don't even think it's close. Like, we like Jalen Brunson because Jalen Brunson made some very clutch baskets at the end of all 3 games. But his first 2 games have been really bad. And last night's game wasn't super efficiently shooting-wise. It was better than the first 2. But no, it's Karl-Anthony Towns. And then the Spurs, it would be Wemby if they win as easily. Wemby will always be Wemby. So I ain't gonna say always, but right now it will be Wemby.
We are joined with the Hollywood Sensei,
the wise man.
What's going on, man?
And Wise Jr.
We're gonna ask him a question, and we're gonna ask him the question we just answered. So Hollywood, so far the Spurs were yay or nay? The Spurs were a better team throughout the first 3 games of the finals so far, despite losing 2.
I'm gonna say nah. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of hard for me to say. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? Whatever statistics may support the argument to say that they were, but when you lose 2 straight games, it's kind of hard for me to say. You know what I mean? You are the better team. Like, I mean, last night they won. They did what they were supposed to do, especially defensively. But a lot of shots for the Knicks wasn't falling early. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I gotta say nay. You know what I mean? It's just
okay. Now we are doing this one. The Finals MVP is still unclear right now.
Yeah. Because I think after last night's game, if San Antonio comes back to win this series, you would have to take a strong look at Stephon Castle. Like, I get it. Wemby is Wemby. He's going to do what he do. But, I feel like they wouldn't have won that game if Castle didn't do what he did last night.
That three was big.
That three
was
was
late
really
pass.
big. That three was big, and that dagger 2 from Fox was big. Those were really big shots.
Definitely. But so far, I would say that the ladder for the MVP is probably like you would put Wemby 1, I guess Brunson after that, and then Castle. You know what I mean? Those are like really the only 3 people in the running for me. You know what I mean? Because like nobody else on the Knicks haven't really. I mean, OG came through last night, but I mean,
Mikal Bridges was big in game 2.
Well, I think it would be clearly Cat right now be the running for the Knicks to be number 1, and then Brunson probably would be 2.
I think Hollywood took Cat out because he only had 14 points.
Yeah, Cat last night he should have been a little bit more aggressive, even though they did do well against him defensively. But I mean, if
10
you
shots
supposed
is something. 10 shots.
If you supposed to be the they traded for you for this specific, I mean, so you supposed to be a little bit more aggressive offensively.
I wonder did they like the Spurs make an adjustment because he after the first half of game 2, he has 14 points total in the last 6 quarters.
They may have swapped up trying to put Wemby on him and instead go for like some of the smaller guards that might can maneuver better with him because putting him up against Wemby has not been good for them at all. So they probably have been trying to switch off it. It's just I would think clear to him because like he's been big for their first 2 games to be able to get them those leads. Versus I just can't say Jalen Brunson when your first 2 games have been horrible. Like he had some clutch buckets. But his first 2 games have been bad. Like he hasn't shot effectively really in none of the 3 games. You know, he just takes a lot of shots. You know, but if you're not being super efficient with said shots, then I can't necessarily be like your Finals MVP. I'm like you hadn't played well. Like I'm still waiting on, or necessarily waiting, you know, because I don't really care who wins. But you know, I'm sure most people are still waiting for the big Jalen Brunson game where he goes crazy. You know, like. I haven't really seen that in 3 games. Like, that hasn't been there. So it's hard for me to just say that he's the Finals MVP. I'm like, he ain't really been the reason they won, you know, other than the clutch shots. But he ain't really the number 1. I was like, that go to Cat. But I don't know, maybe.
Lowe made a point that like a lot of people criticized Brunson, but this was his best shooting game. If you look at percentage-wise, this was by far his best shooting game. I think he's like at almost like 39-40% this game, and he's been at like 30-31 the other 2 games. He's been taking more shots than he made in the last 2 games, basically.
Yeah, and in this game he was 11 for 25. So like it was 40%. It was better. Like low 40. It was definitely better.
But I seen people be like, "Oh, Brunson messed up this game." He not only this is what I'm talking. When Lowe says this, I agree with it. This was he shot better in this game, and he shot less than he did the first 2 games. But nobody criticized it. But when you lose, they criticize it. So it's very interesting. When that happened, I'm like, so he shot better and he shot less, but it's because he played hero ball this game. The reason they lost. I'm like, but he shot less than he did the first 2 games. Then game 2, he shoot 31 times compared to 25. So I'm like, he shot less. He shot a better percentage, but somehow this game is the reason they lost because they lost it. It's so interesting how like when you become a winner, how when you win, people like switch up the thing.
You know how it goes. When you win, nobody complains. When you lose, they gotta look at everything.
Yeah. Like all of a sudden, Wemby is like this. Like people criticize Wemby for not doing something, then he win. They're like, oh, he did it. Like if Wemby hit that, like I'll say this too. If Wemby hit that shot outside of Monre, who just wanted to be a center, most people like Gilbert said this. If he hit the shot, everybody shut up. But if he missed it, like why you didn't go in front? Just like De'Aaron Fox hit the shot last night, but he didn't take the shot the other day. People, it's different criticism if you win or lose.
No, yeah.
Castle's name has been raised more now, even though Castle should be up there because his defense on Jalen Brunson has been insane.
Brunson had 25 shots last game too. I'm looking at game 1 too.
Yeah, so he had like the same amount of shots. So what's the difference?
In game one he had 31. Game 1 he had 31.
So he won the game. He had 30. So he had the same
shot in 3 games. Come on.
Yeah, he averages at least 25 shots per game.
Yeah. And what he averaged? He only averaged what 24 points, 25.
He had 30 game 1 last game.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna remove Brunson out my MVP ladder and put Cat in there because I mean you averaging 24 a game on 25 shots is nasty.
Like, what are you averaging? That might be wrong. I don't think
I can't do it, bro. I'm just for me. I'm like I know Cat has been efficient He's played well. His ability to score on Wemby has been phenomenal in being able to get them to be able to maneuver the ball around and get some shots and get close around. Like, I know that. I'm like, Brunson, I expect Brunson to shoot a lot. But when you haven't been super efficient when shooting a lot,
Yeah,
Okay, so he's averaging 27 points a game.
27 on 26 shots.
On how many shots a game?
26, 27 shots.
So he averaging the same amount of shots as point, which ain't typically not a good thing. Ever.
Now, see, when we get on people like Donovan Mitchell for that, it's a negative for him. But when we hit in the finals and you going 27 for 27, you know, like we got to be fair here.
You should never have many points. You should never shoot.
I've literally heard like Donovan Mitchell, like we said that I'm just saying, like, you know, we got on. Nah, that's a whole different sport. Like, be fair here, like, yeah, like.
But I also want to give a shout out to Castle. He played amazing. I'm thinking he has like twice as many turnovers when Castle guards him as assists, and he's shooting like 31% when Castle guards him. So
Castle doing good. I got nothing but good praise for Castle. The defense is good.
Yeah, so and he scored last night. He finally realized Brunson on him I should go in the paint and shoot over the top.
I'm worried for Harper, but I'm happy for Castle right now.
Harper's having a problem with OG because OG keeps blocking his layups.
I ain't 100% sure, and I ain't 100% sure that Harper 100% either. So I know when you have these hamstring or leg issues or whatever, and they just be played through them. I'm like, oh well, you know. I'm like, Harper was doing great work when Fox was gone, and ever since he went down in the OKC series, he ain't really been the same. So
they're gonna need more from Harper and Fox in Game 4. Or maybe Castle just step up again and say, screw it, I know him now. Yay or nay?
Go ahead.
Yay or nay, referees are having too much impact on this entire playoffs. We're going to say the playoffs. Not just this season, the entire playoff.
I feel like you could say
about the referees the entire time.
I feel like you could say yay to that question if you was asked that every playoffs.
Yes.
I mean, because
I do. That's why I ask it though, because I feel like fan bases, if they team losing and it's close, they always gonna say the referees could have called these fouls.
No, the refs definitely been, you know, impacting the playoffs, whether it's negatively or positively, the whole time. Like, I mean, we all know it's certain calls that don't get called or calls that shouldn't be called that get called. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes they let them play, and, you know, sometimes they make the right call. But, you know what I mean? The one thing with referees that I feel like people forget is human error. Like, I mean,
you watching you freeze framed a shot of somebody grabbing somebody and be like, look, you can't see that. I'm like, bro, you screenshotted a stop photo,
right?
Versus a man in real life.
They are watching this shit happen in like fast, real fucking time. Like, you can't. But to answer the question, I'm gonna say yes.
And look at this. They got the up angle. The referee is on the floor with gigantic 6'5" men running around. Like, I can't see that.
With a whole bunch of other distractions going on. Yeah.
I would shockingly say no. When you ask the question for the entire playoffs, are the referees having too much power? The answer is no. For the majority of the games, now for the big, most televised games, like the entire OKC series, for example, or last night's game, maybe, sure, you can make that argument. But for the entire playoffs, wasn't nobody worried about refs when the Knicks was blowing away the freaking 76ers, or wasn't nobody worried about the refs, you know, for the other 4 games when the Spurs beat down the Timberwolves or something, or when they were beating the Trailblazers, or when OKC was sweeping their first 2 freaking opponents. What about a word about then? So no, I'm not gonna say it. And then when it comes to the important series and the important games, I still think it's mostly no, because the media make quote unquote the refs problem and the fouls and stuff way bigger than what it really should be. Like the media, and I say media not just like ESPN or like the sports media, but like the average social media people were making, OKC is doing a whole bunch of extra flopping and they're drawing more fouls and this, that, and the other. So the Spurs. But you know, like it wasn't really called on the Spurs most of the time because they're so focused on painting one team as a villain and some of that nature or whatever. And even to be fair, the calls that the refs have made now, I really can't think of a single solitary call that really has changed the entire perplexity of one game this playoff run. Like, yeah, there have been some shaky calls or whatever that's gotten a couple of extra points here and there and stuff, but they mostly balanced out. There hasn't really been one significant call that we've been like, get that man job. He just screwed this whole team out of a potential game. Ain't been nothing like that. Versus, I will go back again to last year when the Pistons literally got screwed out of 2 games because of bad referee calls or no calls. Outright gypped of a game because they did not call a foul. They called a foul. Like, literally. So, like, no. Like, those are egregious ones. There has not been one of those this playoffs, and hopefully there will not be for the remainder of the final game.
To Monte's point, there's still no call like when the Saints played who they played, and that they
haven't been one of the Saints play. Like, no, they just have not been a referee call to that kind of extent in these playoffs, and I hope there won't be. But last year, the Pistons legitimately was like, bro, we were supposed to have beaten the Knicks. But 2 of our games got hold because of a referee no call on a stupid 3 and a call on like the dumb stuff. So yeah, they can say that. None of the teams this year are gonna be able to say like, hey, we got screwed out of a game because this ref made this call with 2 seconds left on the clock of game block. No, none of them can say that.
And I'm gonna say this: it's the reason I'm bringing up Mike Brown, bring it up. So we bring it up on this show. I do want to say the superstar gonna get called. That's why I was wondering how y'all mad when Shea get called or Wemby or anybody they are the superstar. They gonna get the call. And if I heard people say you want to be fair, listen. If we gonna be fair, Wemby get fouled every play because he's too big. You gotta foul. There ain't no choice. Like if you want him to be stopped, I gotta foul. Because if you don't believe me, whenever Wemby cut, OG putting his hip right in his hip every time so he can't cut to the basket. That's a foul. But I'm not against the referee not calling it because what else they supposed to do?
Just go look at some of Shaq's old games. You'll see that man got hacked every time he went up.
If they don't,
they'll call halftime.
If they don't foul Wemby, what's gonna happen? He's just gonna go to the paint and dunk. There's nothing you can do about it. So, if we gonna say fair, I'm just being realistic. If we call basketball games fair and every foul a foul, they wouldn't probably know basketball game to be fair because
there'd be so many commercial breaks.
Everybody foul everybody because that's kind of what it is. But we got the next question. Yay or nay? Donald Trump cost Madison Square Garden and the Knicks the game last night. The reason I said that, let me get preference on that. They were supposed to have the people at the Garden on the outside to like when the Spurs come in and have the crowd ruckus outside because of course the ticket prices, which is included in this statement, are so high that probably the most riotous Knicks fans. I saw a few of them say they go to San Antonio to watch the game. That's why it was 3,000 of them here because it's cheaper to buy a plane ticket, buy 2 tickets for $1,000 a piece. Buy a plane ticket to stay there for 4 days in a hotel was cheaper, which I think they said it come up to $5,000, $6,000. Then going to one $11,000 Madison Square Garden. So I saw a lot of Knicks fans say that. So they're like, that's why we went because we ain't gonna get in at home. We got to go to the road. So on top of that, so again the field of the Spurs couldn't get to the full field of the crowd yelling at them when they got off the bus. Because when the president in, they clear the street. Nobody can be on the road. They had to go way down out to the park, way out there, in which they proceeded after they lost to beat up a bunch of random Spurs fans that they saw, which was crazy. And then they beat up their own fans who said something negative. So it was wild in Gotham after they lost, which makes Monte's point right last week. Gotham's going to be Gotham regardless. So they just start beating up random people. But that's the preference I want to say of Donald Trump and what caused why I'm saying this, because a lot of local businesses didn't get their stuff that a lot of food places had to close down that's normally open, a lot of bars that's close to the stadium. All they had to close down because the president in the building, Secret Service not having nobody around him because of the way it is. And all the players had to get checked and all that because the president in the building. So everybody that came in the arena had to get checked. And probably raised the ticket prices too, to be honest with you, because you can't just have 4 people in the president. So, yay or nay, did Donald Trump cost Madison Square Garden and the Knicks last night because the crowd wasn't as right?
Listen, if I get to blame anything on Donald Trump, I'm going to blame it on him. I don't give a fuck what it is. So, yes, You know what I mean? Yes, he cost the Knicks the game. You know what I mean? I was watching it last night and I was like, you know what I mean? They're going to lose this game because the arena is filled with a bunch of niggas that's really not fans. Y'all just there for the appearance. You know what I mean? The real energy, the real spirit bomb energy that they needed wasn't in the building. You know what I mean? And then, you know, like you said, a lot of shit got shut down because of Trump's arrival. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of the players played a little bit nervous and tentative in the beginning, probably because of the magnitude of everybody in attendance. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm going to blame Trump. You know what I mean? If he show up for game 4, series going to have to be tied 2-2, nigga. You know what I mean? If he in there for game 4, pencil San Antonio in for the win. You know what I mean? If Trump keeps showing up to the Garden, Spurs in 6.
Biasedly, yeah, he did it, or yeah, it was his fault. Unbiasedly, because I have to be fair, the Knicks lost because Stephon Castle hit a dagger 3 and De'Aaron Fox hit a dagger 2, and Wemby finally remembered that he was not Kevin Durant. That's why they lost. They lost because of that, and because James Dolan decided to outprice his fans for a bunch of rich and famous people. That's why they lost. Because they lost because your tickets were 5 digits for your first finals game in 50 years. Or like 30 years, something like that. So yeah,
just imagine the regular New Yorkers was in there with the crazy ones that were beating people.
That's why. And mind you, after all this, they still got the fighting outside the arena. So like, it was still fans there,
well,
even though they
outside the arena, they had to go way down the road. They can't.
Like, they still got the boxing outside the arena somewhere. Like, still have to go down. They still got the fight.
They
so
go
like,
all the way to the park. I don't know if you ever been to Madison Square. They had to go to Central Park. They closed that whole shit out.
I'm just like, yeah, they were still fighting. Yeah, they still had Knicks fans that was in there cheering for them. You know, they were just some of the rich and uppity ones and a whole bunch of other people. But yeah, so like, yeah, they still did it. So no, they lost because Spurs clutched up and, you know, some rough patches. And maybe some bad energy there because of certain people were in skyboxes. So.
We have another question. Yay or nay? Wemby doesn't deserve the superstar treatment he's getting, specifically referees and not getting called. Yeah, it's gonna say yeah, doesn't deserve it yet. Because I've seen this topic, and I'm gonna be real, he has gotten a lot of more superstar calls, but he also gets fouled a lot. It's a weird situation. But he do get sometimes he gets superstar treatment, but he is the superstar on the team.
That's a tough one. I was saying, do you not deserve the call?
Superstar get called since the beginning of time.
I mean, do I want to be honest and be like, none of these superstars deserve calls because everybody should just be fair and referees should just be fair and, you know, not be biased towards certain stars and certain superstars. Yeah, they should do that. But unfortunately, they're not fully biased and they're going to give certain stars calls and stuff of that nature. I won't say Wemby don't deserve it. I won't say that, like, not necessarily like superstar treatment because, you know, he's in his first finals. You know, he's 20. I'm doing 22, 23, 102. So, like, I'm gonna give you credit. I'm gonna give you fairness. Like, you are MVP runner-up. You're, you know, a very talented superstar level player. You're in your first finals. You're a DPOI. I'm not gonna act like you wouldn't get some degree of star treatment anyway. So I'm not mad at him getting some superstar treatment or whatever. And like I say, he's 7'5", he'll get fouled on a regular basis, so they'll give him a little bit of leeway. So I'm cool with him getting. I mean, like I said, my first mindset is that nobody should get treatment like that. You should treat everybody fairly. But him getting star treatment when it comes to calls and stuff, I'm not superbly mad at. At least not right now. I'm not superbly. It's not egregious. You know, it's not like he going out there like we talk about with SGA at times. Well, not SGA is over, but just SGA at times, who religiously can go out there and get double-digit free throws every night. Like, no, it's not to that extent. But you know, a couple extra calls here and there, cool. I mean, God knows you're going against a team and your own team that do some flopping. Like Jalen Brunson is known for going out there and getting the foul calls. So I'm not gonna be mad at you for getting a couple of extra in your way, especially in Gotham. So I'm not gonna be mad. It's fine.
I will say this to anybody that talk about sports. Cam Newton told a story to the referee, and we heard it mic'd up when he won the MVP the year after, and he got like his helmet took off, and he like, "Hey, that's roughing the passer." He like, "You don't get that call. You ain't Tom Brady." The referee told him that. He said, "You not Tom Brady." I'm like, "This man mic'd up. You don't get that call. You too young. You ain't Tom
Right.
Brady." So superstars in every sport gets called. They get the benefit of that. Hollywood.
Does Wemby deserve the superstar treatment he's getting? You know what I mean? You could say yay and nay. I feel like two things can be true in this instance. You know what I mean? When you are a superstar, obviously the whistle is going to get, blown in your favor sometimes. You know what I mean?
Might not get a flagrant.
You know what I mean? Not all the time. Ask LeBron. You know what I mean? But, sometimes you are afforded the whistle. You know what I mean? Because as a superstar, you can, you know what I mean? We've seen players do it in the past. You could go in the media, say some things, put a little bug in the referee ear. So that next game, that whistle, you know what I mean? And then the nay part is, you know what I mean, because of the superstar treatment. Like, I feel like, a foul is a foul. You know what I mean? Whether it's on a superstar or a mid-tier bench nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Just call the foul. Like, you know what I mean? So for me, it's split between the middle. But because Wemby has broke through that, you know what I mean, star to superstar ceiling, you know what I mean, he's going to get a lot more calls that people don't think he deserves. But also, he'll get more calls if he actually, like Monre said, stop trying to play like he KD, or as I call him, skinny Embiid. You know what I mean? Stop shooting threes all the time, nigga.
Oh my
you know
God.
I mean? Go down low. You know what I mean? And you see what happened on the last game when he stopped shooting them damn threes and he decided like, yo, I'm actually 7'4". Like these motherfuckers can't really guard me for real if I'm in the post. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's yay and nay for me. It's both.
And for that, before we finished it, I want to give, a word to everybody that gave me all kinds of hell after the first game of that OKC series. When I told y'all that man took that shot and it was a bad shot and he was gassed up for it. And I was including, like, it was an iconic moment. He was gassed up for it. That's why he's allowed to take all those shots. That's why he's allowed to take all those threes and blase. And he was a great shot and all that. He shot a little bit after the half court line. It was great and everything in nature. It was what his team needed. And everybody that gassed it up, is y'all fault that he likes to take at least 7 threes a game. It's y'all fault that the 7'5" monster wants to sit back and shoot all the time. Because y'all gassed him up. When I told y'all, no, put that man in the paint and let him be like Rudy Gobert. At least when it comes to being in the paint and getting some dunks and easy layups. Let him shoot. All right, when that man attempt that first crossover, blame y'all for it.
Next up, we're finishing up with a simple what's going to happen the rest. So we're going to say it in a way, yay or nay. The Spurs have figured out the Knicks. Who has the Spurs figured out the Knicks? Who wins this series? We might have game 7, so we might have
something that I heard last night on a broadcast, made my antennas stick up. The coach, Mitch Johnson, said, like the Spurs, they like settle into the series. Like, once they figure it out, that's when they start. And he said game 2, which I did see because they only lost by 1. They did kind of, figure out like, all right, if we do this, they can't really stop us. And we saw it again in game 3. So I feel like they have cracked the code. The Knicks' chance to win the series was last night. Y'all had to win that game because I feel like y'all done gave these little niggas momentum. They know how to beat y'all now. So yeah, I got the Spurs in 7 now. I had the Knicks in 7, but from what I saw last night, I think they'd take it to 7 games. I wouldn't be surprised if they won it in 6. I would not be surprised if they win the next 3 games.
You gonna do a Giannis against Phoenix and just dominate 4 straight?
I mean, I would not be surprised if they won the next, because like they figured them out offensively and defensively. Like, I mean, I just feel like if y'all just do what y'all did on Cat, I mean, if you force him to be non-aggressive as he was last night and just keep letting Brunson jack up 30 shots, you know what I mean? You know, hey man. And Wemby got it together. Like I said, he stopped shooting the fucking threes. Hopefully next game, keep him at 4 or 5 threes, and I'll be fine. You know what I mean? Anything over that, nah. But yeah, I think the Spurs win this joint. I think they figured them out. They cracked the code. I mean, the Knicks gave them too much. Gave them too much to figure out, and they figured it out. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Monre.
I think it's a little ironic. I feel the opposite. I don't think they figured them out. I just don't. And the reason why I say that is because, and it's to be fair, they didn't have them figured out last night. Last night, the Spurs had multiple chances to put that game away. And the Knicks, they let them come back multiple times, whether it was ugly shots, whether it was clutch shots. Like, there have not been a time in this entire series that I've 100% felt like, all right, the Spurs got it locked down. They know them. They got everything in control. And there's not been a time in this series I felt that way. Even last night when they were winning or when they were up 7 multiple times, I'm just like, it's still not a done deal because the Spurs have not shown me, at least when it comes to this series, that they have the composure to be able to, you know, do what needs to be done for 48 full minutes. And I just can't. And then so because of that, I just don't trust them. Like I don't trust no singular person on the Spurs based off of what I've seen. I don't trust Wemby to be Wemby, you know, to be the 7-foot tall center that can shoot occasionally or whatever. I can't trust that because for 48 minutes, he'll necessarily do that every game. Last night was the first time in 3 games that he's done what he should have done the entire time. Stay more in the paint, take less threes, get more easy shots. And like so I don't have faith that he will stick to doing that necessarily. I hope he does because I picked Spurs and I picked the Spurs in 7. And I'm gonna stick with that pick. But just when the question like, have they figured them out? I'm like, no. Like, I haven't felt that way. Like, just every time I've seen Cat been able to go off on 2 games, I see OG Anunoby strangely be able to go off the last game. Like, no, I don't see that. I've seen the Knicks even like for the last 3 games come to the end of the game, be behind, and been able to come up and steal a lead or get close to it or something of that nature, which shows me that the Spurs still have struggled when it comes to holding down in clutch minutes. Last night they was able to pull it off, but they almost didn't. And I'm just like, no. So I don't think they figured them out. I think this is still going to be an ongoing battle. Have the Spurs figured out the coaching yet? No. There's still been coaching gaps or some rotation issues or some weird things going on with there. No, I don't feel that way. Versus the Knicks, I feel like they know who they are. They know how they've been playing. They know what they need to do necessarily at points to try to get, you know, through to get points and get things working or something of that nature. Last night, they sort of like got figured out in ways that Cat couldn't get it going. The shooting off the bench couldn't get it going necessarily. You know, Brunson couldn't get it going. And they still will be able to be in the game because OG Anunoby had a crazy game. But just, they haven't figured them out. And I think it's going to be this kind of game. Like we had the last 3 games where all of them been nail biters. I feel like it's going to be this kind of game going forward in every game. Because I don't feel like after 3 games, either team is just ready to blow out the other team. Because if one team is too talented, the other one's too skilled. So I don't think they figured them out. Even though I think I'm going to stick with my pick that the Spurs win. But I think we got a long series. I say Spurs in 7. I think we're going to have a game 7. Or at least a game 6 back in Gotham. How we get there? That's okay.
All right. So,
especially because no team has won home court yet. So,
which is always interesting. It could be the first time that all 4 first quarter teams lost. But
yeah.
we out of basketball. We done with the finals talk for now. But we got some NCAA talk. We have Brendan Sorsby. Was justice served by his injunction? For people that don't know who Brendan Sorsby is, he's the Texas Tech quarterback who was caught gambling when he was in Indiana and I think Cincinnati. So he's been traveling around, but he gambles. I've been trying to figure out if he gambled on his team, but I know he gambles on teams he used to be part of, so he know like the game plan. So he got basically kicked out of the NCAA. It was going to go into the supplemental draft, but he filed an injunction through the Texas court, and he got it.
He did on his own team too.
He did, so he did on his own team. By the way, the problem with this people are having is that all 4 of the judges that judged him are part of Texas Tech. They all Texas Tech grads. So people like, is that fair that Brendan Sorsby get an injunction from people who was actively rooting for the team?
NCAA cook. They cook. I ain't gonna hold you, but they cook. They are cooked, bro. There's no way you can really justify it. I don't understand how you justify it like this. I don't get
like
it.
a conflict of interest.
I just don't get how you justify the ruling of he can go back and play. He's got to serve out 2 games of suspension, and how, Sway? How can you trust that No, you can't trust him at all. Even though, like I say, he's getting treatment and everything, you can't trust him. And then, like I've heard other analysts going on, like, and to be fair, what's the point of reinstating him? Who in the NFL gonna touch him at this point? That's why they're gonna touch him when it comes to betting or nothing. Ain't no NFL team gonna be like, oh yeah. Like NFL overlooks a bunch of stuff sometimes. They do. You bet against us? Oh no, so, we can't have you fixing it when we already fixing it behind the scenes and the public ain't know about it yet. We can't have you openly doing it. No, bro, no. They're like, we got NIL deals and everything going through. Y'all want to allow this? Oh, this nasty work. This nasty work. So I already see the NCAA. They already did an appeal with it. Like, there's no way y'all really let this fly. So they cooked, boy. They cooked. Like, the integrity of the NCAA just took a nosedive after this, boy. Ooh, look.
Yeah, this is not a good look. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say nay on because this sets a very bad precedent for shit moving forward if they allow this. I mean, to stand. I mean, I don't know if the NCAA gonna appeal, whatever, they probably will, but I mean, betting on your own team and then still being allowed to play is crazy. Like, I mean, there's been other. Like, didn't Pete Rose get banned from baseball for life? I mean, for sports betting? I mean, for betting on his own team? Like, to me, this speaks more to the gambling crisis that's going on right now. I mean? Like, these sports books and shit, the rise of all these fucking gambling apps over the past 3 to 4 years has been crazy, from FanDuel to DraftKings. Now you got Prize Picks, Better Picks, or whatever the fuck picks is out here now.
Underdog.
I mean, you got
Underdog,
people,
they messed over again.
Underdog, all that stuff. Like, I mean, you got regular civilians, regular people harassing athletes because they didn't get a 3.
They didn't football. Imagine what they do when money's online.
Over under ain't go through. So now you in somebody's inbox cursing them out. I mean? And then you got players betting on their own team. Like, bro, you already probably getting NIL money or whatever. I mean,
his NIL deal was way bigger than his gambling deal so far. So,
like, what's the point in gambling? Like, I mean, isn't look in the NBA? Ain't Terry Rozier about to go through some shit because he was betting?
Him and Chauncey Billups now.
Chauncey still out, boy.
Like, come on, dog. Like, y'all gotta, the NCAA, they've been in a bad light for a minute now, especially because of the with this NIL shit. Like, I mean, y'all, like, I get it. Like, we watch college football for the players. Like, it's driven by the athletes out there. But, like, this, like I said, sets a bad precedent that you just giving the athletes all the power, basically. And you say, hey, no matter what you do, as long as you can make the university money, as long as you can get ESPN some ratings, we'll let you come back. I mean, it don't matter. I mean, and that's,
like I said, the judges from Texas, the judges that all went to school at Texas Tech, which I thought was very crazy.
See, that ain't good. I mean,
that's my biggest issue. Like, how did y'all get this? Shouldn't there be a conflict of interest? Because it has to do with your alma mater you went to. But
Nah, don't look at that part.
But we do got a yay or nay on this to finish it off because Nick Saban was at Capitol Hill. Yay or nay, Nick Saban is correct on his assessment of modern college football. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to start this one off. He is not correct because at the same time, he's a hypocrite in a lot of ways, specifically him and Dabo. But it is a problem. The problem is that the way he frames it is completely wrong. For instance, let's go over some of the things Nick Saban said. It says it's going to be a free-for-all where only the big schools win. That has been proven false because we had a championship with schools that haven't won in a long time and top fours of schools that haven't won in a while, whereas Alabama and Georgia continuously won because, let's be honest, even Kirby kind of admitted that at Georgia, we kind of were paying the players under the table, so we had all the advantages while little schools couldn't get away with it because, of course, the NCAA don't make money off the smaller schools compared to the bigger schools. So the LSUs, the SECs, and the Big Tens kind of ran everything. But now they want to yell foul when Indiana school, who's paid by a billionaire, gets a chance to win the championship. When the last time we had a school like Indiana win a championship? Let's just be honest. It has. So that kind of beats Nick Saban's point. But his overall point, and it being toxic, as Hollywood just said, it is very toxic, and they should make rules. Now, Nick Saban rules are too extreme. That's the only thing I'm saying. Nick Saban trying to be like, hey, we shouldn't pay these athletes at all because it's a bad precedent. Because what if the student don't do well, then the school hurt? I'm like, what if you don't pay the coach? You got paid $20 million. You got paid almost $100 million a year almost. What if you suck for 2 years to school and I get hurt from it? So why does it not apply to them, but it applies to you? That's my problem with Nick Saban thing. Now, do I think it should be like caps on it and certain entities shouldn't be allowed to do it and certain people shouldn't be allowed to make certain things like the transfer rule? I think it should happen. I saw they was pointing out. I think it should be some caveats to it because, like, what if somebody get hurt and then all of a sudden somebody start and then all of a sudden they didn't did it? Because I don't know if y'all seen the Congress rule where it switches. Like, okay, you can't transfer more than one time. But I'm like, what if something catastrophic happened and then all of a sudden you come back and you can't go to school? I don't know. Like, is there allowed to transfer then? What if a new player come in? Are they not allowed to transfer to a smaller school and get a chance? Right. So it's certain caveats. I think you shouldn't just make it absolute. I do think it should be like some type of salary cap where random people can't just go out there and just pay kids all this, and maybe make them have to do like some type of work for the NIL. Like, hey, if you're gonna get paid for this car company, you got to at least do 2 commercials. They can't just pay you and you not actually use your likeness. You just come on campus and like, we're gonna give you this $20 million deal right now before you even come on the campus because we want you at the school. I do think it should be like rules to it. But like I said, to my point, Nick Saban, is he correct on his assessment? Based on the way the question is asked, is yes. But at the same time, nowhere near as stringent as Nick Saban is because he's a hypocrite. Because I know, listen, Monre know I'm an hour away from Tuscaloosa. I know how that worked back in 2019. Trust me, I know how it worked. Listen, you sound very hypocritical to the people who I know come in that office right there and the door closed behind them because of stuff you probably said behind the closed door. So you sound very hypocritical about paying blood because you showed them a problem with it when it was under the table. So that's all I'm saying. I know a bunch of Alabama players. I ain't gonna say their name because he might get. It don't matter no more. Lonzo Lawrence, shout at him. He went to Alabama, then he got transferred. But
all right, so what was
is Nick Saban correct on his assessment of modern day college sports? I said football, but sports.
What was the gist of his
argument is that it's a toxic environment right now and it doesn't help college football. My argument is, in a way, yes, in a way, no, because it's been proven that smaller schools now have a shot if they just use the NIL smart, because Indiana has never been a power. NIL is the most losingest franchise in college football history. Well, now they're not. They're third place in losing this because they had one of the most amazing things ever. So now they're third from winning percentage. But
I mean,
all time. So
I would say it's another 2 things could be true. You know what I mean? A yay and nay for this joint. Like, yes, for the simple fact that what we talked about before, you know what I mean? It is toxic. You know what I mean? It is giving a lot of I don't want to say people that don't deserve. I don't like saying you don't deserve something, but motherfuckers that really ain't put in work for the type of treatment they get. You know what I mean? You know, and that's the precedent that's been set now. You know what I mean? That, you know, hey, listen, if I throw this money at you, you know what I mean? But the no part, I mean, it's not toxic because I feel like it creates parity that wasn't there before. You know what I mean? Because college football before this NIL shit was just basically, you know what I mean,
Alabama, Clemson.
the SEC invitation. You know what I mean? That's
For
really
Ohio
what it
State,
was.
Clemson is the other two teams.
You know what I mean? You know? Yeah, with an occasional Clemson and somebody Ohio State cameo. But, you know what I mean? It was, you know, the SEC, Alabama, Georgia, LSU invitation. You know what I mean? Now that we got the NIL, it gives teams like Indiana a chance to
Texas
go get
Tech, who wasn't
Texas Tech. You know what I mean? It gives those small schools a chance to, you know, get some better players. And actually, you know what I mean, you see what happened. Like a team like
Ole
Indiana
Miss.
won the, you know what I
top
mean?
four.
You see a team like Indiana winning the championship. I mean, so in that aspect, yes. You know what I mean? It helps, but overall, I would say he's about 55-45 in his assessment. You know what I mean? 55 with the truth, 45 with falsehood. You know what I mean? Because, you know, like I said, this NIL shit has really murked up the waters in the college football landscape for real. You know what I mean? But
Last year we had
you know,
Arizona State, which don't make playoffs. So a lot of teams, all they need is like $1 billion to just invest that 1 year. You can get started real quick.
yep.
Like Mark Cuban with Indiana. Ole Miss had a few alumni as lawyers that helped them get Trinidad and Lacey, who is now on the cover of College Football 27. Shout out to my little cuz Perk. I see your chain. That is blinging. I heard that offer. I ain't gonna never ask him that. No, I refuse. This family. I'll ask a non-family member. I can't ask a family member. Because they said Ohio State made him a nice offer. I never got to the bottom of that. But yeah, you got like people from Ole Miss, Indiana, all those schools, Arizona State. All you need one rich alumni to be like, I'm gonna invest in y'all this year. And then you hit, because I think Indiana hit on all their investment. Some schools have a bunch of people they pay for that don't work out. Alabama did this year. But Indiana hit all those. So, Monre.
As you said, man, it's not good to be a hypocrite. So to say college football is going to go down the drain because you're able to pay players all that when it's pretty much a known fact. That's how Alabama was dominant with all the national championships for the better part of at least a decade under your tutelage. It's not a good look to be like, oh, they're going to go downhill, you know, because now it's more on the even playing field that every team can just openly pay players instead of y'all sneaking agents in the back doors and being like, hey, bro, like, we pretty much got you like a guaranteed NFL or draft spot. You come play with us. Like you don't want to say that. And then they go into a lesser extent, Ohio State, Clemson.
I have no proof Clemson did it, but I do kind of have proof.
I was like Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia. Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, LSU. They go for all of them, but they all did the same thing. That's how all of them was always the national championship every freaking year. So, like, it's the same difference. But regardless of that, yeah.
He didn't like Indiana being there.
That's what I said. Like, Indiana is pretty much like an example of what happens. It's basically like the model of what a lesser school can hope to attain for. Because they ain't even do it with crazy 5-star recruits and paying them wazoos of money. They was like, oh, we just get a good coach and we just make stuff work. So, no, like I said, there should be some caps. Like, but you can't make it cap to where every school is able to give the same amount of money. Because then it's just going to go back to the same thing. Oh, well, if I can get $1 million from Alabama and $1 million from Boise State, I'm going to go to Alabama. Like, so you're going to go for the more popular one because you can't cap it off at the same amount either. So you have to figure out a way to either every place is able to pay whatever the heck they want to pay, and they just have to deal with the consequences of whatever they pay, or we have to measure it by maybe like tiers. Like, okay, Alabama, Ohio State, whatever, y'all are bigger schools, so y'all can pay a little bit less than these lower tiered schools. They can pay more.
I don't know if I
You know,
like that.
do something like that. They might
Maybe starters get paid what they want, but bench players got a cap.
but it's like I said, either way, it's gonna be finicky and divisive, no matter how they look at it. So it's gonna be a little hard. But I think something like that, when it comes to NIL and the money deals, you can try to work with something like that. Transfer portal limits, look, no, like let's be fair. I'm not gonna sit here and say if they transfer once and that's it, you can't transfer without penalty. No, let's not do that. Like you can have some restrictions on reasons to transfer. Like
that's too much.
Yeah, I said no, don't do that. Like, there may be like reasons why you transfer need to be considered more, or somebody, or like you can't be a starter and just switch more than one, something like that. Like you want to have reasons for it, sure, but not going that far like that. Like
yeah.
But I think like you could play around with it or whatever. But him saying that, no, that's not gonna be right. Because it's like, come on now, bro. We know with Alabama, there was a reason why everybody always wanted to pick of the litter of Alabama's NFL draft picks every year. There's a reason for that, and it ain't just because y'all can scout well. Let's go crazy. It wasn't just because of that. So come on.
Let's be honest, Alabama had 5 stars on the bench because they was getting well.
Like
everybody else couldn't get them, but now the 5 stars going everywhere. Like, oh, I ain't playing Alabama, I can go somewhere else.
Like there's a reason why y'all were able to switch to a backup quarterback in a national championship game and still win. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that, and it wasn't just because you had good scouts.
Next year one.
Like I said, it wasn't just because you had good scouts. Let's not play.
They had Derrick Henry and all them at the same time.
Oh, come on, bro.
Mark Ingram and all them back to back. But yeah, listen, it's hypocritical. He know he's a hypocrite for it. That's why Dabo want to quit because he can't. Now, hey, Dabo, when it's a little more even, you don't look as good as the color, do you?
He want Alabama to be on top. We know it.
Dabo, by the way, Dabo had like how many NFL draft picks? Me and Monre were looking at it. It was a lot. Clemson had a lot of draft picks.
Clemson had a lot of players.
A lot of draft picks.
Why in the world? Your whole defense line got drafted. Why wasn't y'all better?
That's why I put them on that list too.
Why wasn't y'all better this year?
No, but I do agree with that though. That should be some type of like cap on the NIL money. And I mean the transfer shit. You know what I mean?
Maybe a luxury tax.
Yeah, but I feel like the NIL should only be you gotta be like a 4 or 5 star type of player. You know what I mean? Coming out of high school or some type of nationally recognized bowl or something. Like you can't just be some nigga that was at fucking Sam Houston State and you had 1,000 yards and now you think I'm about to give you $5 million. Like no, niggas, like no.
I would hope they wouldn't be stupid to do, but I'm pretty sure they are. I ain't looked into it that much. But yeah, I think it should be some rules and some engagement. Maybe, like I said, maybe have a luxury tax that if you go over. What you think about that, Monre? Like if you go over a certain amount of NIL money, you have to pay a certain percentage?
Possibly, like something like that, or even if they wanted to go as far as the I can't remember the exact name of it, but what the NBA does, like their second level, like when you go over a certain amount of money that you pay or whatever, then you have like different restrictions or problems that you can do with rosters and everything.
I don't like it in the NBA, but I like it in college football.
Like like something like that, like the NBA does with theirs, like with the second tier or whatever. Like if they were to do something like that, that probably would work. Then be like, okay, we can't just shell out willy-nilly money whenever a billionaire decides to like our school, or like so it will make them think at least a little bit more. And they may, and to be honest, they may have to include coaches in that, but coaches might have to be a separate discussion because just poaching coaches away for. And I'm not saying this out of like Ole Miss or whatever, but it's an example. Like poaching coaches away pre-playoff run just because you drop a bag on them and all that kind of stuff, that really puts stuff in a bind. So they may have to look at coaches in the same way just to help like sort of mellow that out a little bit too. Because that shouldn't have happened, but it what it is.
Right.
By the way, that Trinidad Chamberlain story, which is similar to Trinidad didn't do a crime. That's Sober did against things. I think it's weird because the school was supposed to put him on what's the name, but they didn't. So it was like a weird ruling to me. That's why I'm not as mad at that one. Because like the 3A the Division 3 school that he was at, Division 2 school, they were supposed to put him on like the report, but they didn't. Even though they told him he was on it. So it got real weird in that situation. So I'm like, okay. But that's all I got for the show today. Anything else y'all want to talk about before we get off?
Seems
Because
solid.
next week we'll start talking about the end of it because it's going to get toward the end next week of the NBA.
Shoot. We hope it's toward the end and not over, but we'll see.
Because what they play Wednesday and then they play Saturday.
2 games.
And then they play Tuesday.
It'll probably be Tuesday. So I said we'll see. Yeah, I expect it to still be going on. I don't think.
Yeah, the Knicks will have to win both games.
I don't think the Knicks will win both games. To be fair, I really feel like they'll split 1-1, but who knows how this will go. But we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be something definitely interesting. I'm always for it. Always for the damage. Just to see how it goes. And then of course after that we'll have to look at the future and be like, what do these teams do now?
Definitely.
That'd be it.
And then next week we're gonna talk a little bit more NFL. I just want to get a lot of that college football stuff in because it's been very important this last week. And I thought that Brendan Sorsby story was outrageous levels of, like, at least in the other cases we've seen, the judges didn't go to the school. Like, that was insane to me. I'm like, all 4 went to the school, not 1, not 2, all 4 went to the school. I'm like, yeah, that's a conflict of interest. Like, I don't think people that graduated from a school should be judging on a school.
Yeah, free my nigga Carmelo.
We probably talk about that on Saturday on Make It Make Sense. Or I might do it on Don't Piss Me Off. We'll see what goes on this week. But anybody got anything else?
I'm good.
Monre, where can they find you?
Well, Monre Hudson, everywhere it says Monre Hudson. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads that still exist. And of course, on Make It Make Sense podcast on Saturdays. Already sizing up for a show, boy. Cool.
What's that beside you, Monre? What they saying that QR code?
Huh?
The other way. What that QR code say the other way?
Oh. Buy the merch.
Buy that merch.
Hit that merch, Negro.
And of course, Hollywood Sensei, where can they find you?
I mean, you can find your boy Hollywood Sensei all social media platforms. Hollywood_Sensei 215. Tomorrow I will be on Roundtable, so check that out. Top 10. Welcome to Hollywood back next week. I mean, we got a lot of stuff to talk about next week on Welcome to Hollywood. So I mean, I got a lot of things I need to say about these situations that's been occurring down south recently. You know what I mean? And, I need to, on behalf of my people, I gotta speak to these white folks that feel so emboldened to be talking crazy on the internet. But I mean, you'll see that. You'll see that next week, though. You know what I mean? I got a lot to say.
Shout out to Chud the Builder jail cell. He holding them down. We don't like Chud the Builder. We talking about his jail cell. Them bars right there that he buying. By the way, shout out to in that situation, shout out to the white people that don't mess with him. Like, yo, stay your ass. No, we don't want you in the street.
Right.
So we want to incorporate the stuff we think is cool. But who knows? By the way, over on 99media.org, you can find all those people that click their faces. You won't see Hollywood, but you'll see his logo. I think it's the one on his shirt. Just go to the affiliate page and you can see both that and the Blurred Cartel. So just click either of those links. You'll find all his content. The What It Sound Like and Hollywood, Welcome to Hollywood stuff is under his. So go to that, click that, and it'll take you to that page so you can see that video. So I'm looking forward to that. Don't forget, we got Mount Rushmore. Afro won. He was the saboteur. Go watch the last episode. It's very fun. We changing stuff up. He was the saboteur and he won. He convinced Monte of Mortal Kombat 11.
I was compromised.
It didn't take much, but he still.
What was the
rule? It's kind of like a Among Us thing we did.
I gotta go back and
compromise.
watch it. 30 minutes into the show, I got finished watching it.
Yeah, so he does that. We also have the green screen. I'm the host in that situation where I do the green screen and everything. It's a very fun show. We put the wheel
Emperor Zell was born.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a very fun show. And the new series Don't Piss Me Off. We already talked about Stevie Knight apologizing to Drake for being a Kendrick fan and not liking Drake music, which I thought a 35-year-old man with 2 kids need to grow up. So that pissed me off, as well as AJ Brown snitching, apparently leaking messages and all that. So go check Don't Piss Me Off. because we got grown men apologizing. Now we got next week. I already got one that's pissing me off, and I'll go ahead and tell y'all. Don't sleep with your cousin.
Oh my gosh.
So that pissed me off this week. so be ready on the lookout for that, because Friday gonna be fun.
Oh,
and
man.
remember, don't piss me off, or you're gonna make my top 5 of the week. I appreciate y'all for watching. Shout out to everybody that showed up. Again, those are the 2 shows for this week. Power will be back this week on the 12th.
Oh, yeah.
So I will be reviewing Power. And we'll probably do 2 reviews. We'll do a group review and then my personal review, my reaction, first reaction.
Yeah, I gotta get on that Raising Canaan, John.
Yeah, so Raising Canaan is back.
Man.
That's for the week basically, and then the end of July, we got Supergirl and House of Dragons. So we got a lot more content coming to y'all. I do appreciate. I do got to get on the Scary Movie 6 and the He-Man, but we'll see if I have the motivation to watch them too. But that's it. Peace.